Hey, how you doing? Welcome to this. I'm gonna do like a new series, and I'm gonna make an intro with FCPX. So just using the tools in FCPX. I'm using no special outside tools, no add-ons, nothing. I'm just gonna use the stuff that's available to us within sort of the standard FCPX, and I'm gonna make intros from that. So really. So yeah, open up FCPX, and then I'm gonna go File, New Project, or press Command N on the keyboard, and as you know, you're familiar with FCPX, you get this pop-up, and I'm just going to call it FCPX Intros. We've got an event somewhere called Design, clearly, and the settings that I'm going to use is Custom 1080p HD 1920 by 1080 and frame rate of 30p, and that's just because it fits YouTube nicely using those settings. And the audio render settings or properties, custom stereo, audio sample rate 48 kilohertz. Obviously you can do the pop-ups on these if you want, and I'm going to use the Apple Pro Res 422. Okay, and then I'm going to click OK, and we've got a new project. So then what I'm going to do, for this one I'm going to go to my text here, so title browsers. So if you hover over this center line, search title browsers, and we're going to use the first one, and it's called Activate. And just lately they've added some new ones, and they are quite good, and like I say, later on in later videos we will make more. So I'm just going to drag and drop it into my timeline like so, and I am going to extend it to 20 seconds, roughly about 20 seconds long. Generally I would do it for about 10 seconds in my own intros, but just for this demonstration I'm going to do 20 seconds so we can sort of slow everything down. And then I'm going to zoom into my timeline using the little the zoom in and out button slider at the bottom here, just to give me more control over my timeline. So you see the first things that we've got this sort of information, the text, and then we're just going to want to add our own text. Now the way we do this is highlight the Activate, and if we go to the top in the properties window over the right hand side, or the inspector, on the title we've got show background. On the text we've got the type of text, so we can change the text with stuff here like this, but I just want to leave it on the standard text. Face and the outline we'll mess about with in a minute. For the time being, all I'm going to want to do is just to change my text. So I'm going to scroll along in my timeline to find the text that I want to change. And you noticed this one I'm going to change to 13th design, and then this I'm just going to write it backwards. So NGISED, and then I'm going to put the T and the H and the T backwards, but I'm going to leave the 13 forwards. I'm going to leave it the correct way, because if you write 31, I tried it, it just doesn't, for me it doesn't feel right, so I'm just going to do the 13 normal, right? So that's the first bit that we're going to want to do. Now just to make the text stand out a little bit more, let's just edit some text. You notice I can change it here as well. I can change the text here, so yeah, just to change the text a little bit more, I'm going to scroll down on my inspector. I'm going to add an outline, but I don't want it to be red. I want to show, and I want the outline to be black outline, right? And then the outline I'm going to make the width a little bit more, just 2. And then if you want to blur it, you could blur it, but I'm not going to want to blur it. I'm just going to leave the width on 2. I'm going to do the same. Select the outline. So a little blue button, select the outline, change the color to black, and then you can type in here 2 if you want, or just 2, then press enter, and it will make it 2. So now, and the reason I'm doing this outline is because it helps me later on. So now what I'm going to want to put here, look, is this spinning. On this one I'm going to put FCPX, and this one I'm going to put intro, and this one I'm going to put demo, and let's see what happens. So FCPX intro demo, and then here I'm going to write again 13th design, and then here FCPX intro, and let's just see how that reads at the end. Yeah, it reads quite nice. And if I highlight this, and then I'm going to outline them all, okay? So show my outline, color to black, and then to enter on the, again, outline, color. You can do a gradient as well, by the way. Drop it down, texture or gradient. If you make it really thick, you could do a texture, I suppose, and then you would have to select your texture. But just for this one, just keep it as a color. Let's go back on the ones that we had before. Likewise, we can do the same with this. You can do it all in one, and I'm just doing it purposely separately, just because it's good practice to get to using the inspector correctly, and it's good for demo purposes as well. So I'm just doing the same thing on every single one, and pressing enter at the end of it. And now if we play through our timeline, you'll see we've got this nice sort of pre-made intro, and if we shorten or lengthen the actual activate title in our timeline, it will speed it up. So let's shorten it to 10 seconds, or just 11 seconds. Let's have, now let's look, and it just looks a bit neater when it's sped up a little bit. Make it a little bit faster, it looks a little bit neater. Now I'm going to add some more bits to this, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Right, and what we're going to do, we're going to go to our effects browser. So effects browser, or just command key 5, which will take us to our effects. And then what we're going to do, if we highlight our activate and scroll over each of the thumbnails, it will show you, give you a demo in the window up here, what it looks like if that's applied, if the effect that I'm sort of hovering over is applied. So this artifacts looks quite nice, but we're not going to use the artifacts. What I'm going to want to do, the broken is quite nice as well. Look, I use this quite a lot. Let's just put a broken on there, right? Or a bokeh random broken, a bokeh random, and you just get these sort of artifacts in the back. And if we go to our video, we can change the size of the circles if we want. Change the number of the circles. Let's have a few more. Change the pattern in which they come in at. Change the blur amount. We can change the speed. We can change quite a lot of the effects that we add, right? But I didn't add the bokeh initially, or I didn't think about the bokeh initially. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some side lights and some lights, not flashing. I'm gonna add let's have a look. I'm gonna add some highlights, right? These highlights, they sort of flash along the bottom, look. And if we go to the highlights, you can change the intensity. I just want to turn the intensity down to about 39, right? And you can change the colours, look, so you can make it cool or warm. I don't want to change the colours, I want to leave them on neutral and drop this down to about 39 and press enter. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some more lights, I think. Let me have a look. Side lights. So as well as having them coming from the bottom, I want them coming in from the sides as well. And again, you can change the temperature, the cool and warm. Let me just show you the cool, where they're coming from. Look, they're coming from the sides this time, as opposed to the bottom. I'm going to keep them on neutral, and again I'm going to make it 39. Press enter. And then what I'm going to do, I am going to add a negative. So all my lights become dark and all my darks become light. So it should give us quite a nice effect. So now all my lights become dark and all my darks become light. So if we play that through, it looks quite nice, and then you can mess about with the effects that you get. You'll notice that it gives us quite a nice feel. So what we could also do, right? Let's just make this really cool. Let's take our timeline back to the start, right? And let's go to our inspector and our video up here. And let's get our negative. Let's drag it all the way down to 0. Drag it all the way down to 0, and I'm going to click Add Keyframe. And then I'm going to drag my timeline all the way back up to around 8 seconds. And then I'm going to drag the amount all the way to the top. And that's our intro finished, and I'll show you the intro after the video. I hope this helps you out, and I will do quite a few more of these. Really simple, and you can do them all within FCPX. Have a great day, and I'll catch you soon.